And hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. Who's in the chat? Pickles, how are you doing? First one in. Camp Meat Barbecue. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Lucas Perla. Hello, been watching your channel now that I have a Kamado Joe and have gotten some awesome recipes from you. Well, thank you. That Joe's going to be nice. I don't have a ceramic cooker, but I've been thinking about one. And also, let me know, how's everything looking, sounding? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hopefully you can. Let's see. Jacqueline Brown. Jacqueline, how are you doing? Mark Sadler. Goran. I can't read that. I'm not sure what language. If do you speak English, it would help. I cannot translate, but welcome. Good to see you here. Pat McDonald. Meatloaf going on the kettle today. Hello from Long Island. Is it L.I. Long Island or L.I.? Am I messing that up? Let me know. Doug Cox. How you doing, Doug? Good afternoon, Rye. Great steak burrito today. Thank you. Yeah, that was good. If you haven't watched the burrito I put out, or the burrito I put out today, the video I put out today with the burrito in it, I was really convinced that thing was not going to hold together, but it held together. So, yeah, it was good. That was a really good burrito. I'm always, hi from Ireland, love your creations. Ian, hey, Ian, how are you doing? All my wife's family is from Dublin. So we got a lot of Irish here, and I'm like 25% Irish on my mom's side. So yeah, welcome. Good to have you here. Wesley Mitchell, cold in Pennsylvania. I bet it is. You guys are supposed to be getting a lot of like Arctic air this week, aren't you? This weekend. Dwayne, how are you doing? Dwayne, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Brian Vstrom. Brian, hey. Loud and clear from Pitt. All right. Dan Hamilton, hello, Rye. Retired and moved to a pellet smoker. Nothing wrong with that. I know plenty of people that have pellets and love them. In fact, a pellet is on my list of things to add to my arsenal here. Let's see. Camp Meat says, audio good? Great, so we're sounding good. Mandy, how are you doing? Mandy Speakman. Hey, Rye, you have our full attention this evening. We had you on in the background last week, but was nursing our daughter who was sick. Ah, well, I hope she's better now. I've been there with the sick kids. I mean, my kids are older now. But you know, when they're little and they're sick, they take your attention. I can totally get that. Yeah. Even when they're older and they're sick, you still feel that way too. So yeah. Lucas Perla, how you doing? It's much easier with a pellet smoker. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like with an electric smoker. You know, I use an electric often too. It's kind of like an oven. You set it and it does what you want it to do. So for people who don't want to really get into sort of the depths of like smoking with, you know, an offset smoker or a kettle or whatever you have, ain't nothing wrong with a pellet smoker at all. And I did a video on, you know, what I suggested for like a starter smoker, and my belief then and still is like an electric smoker is easy because it's the first thing. If you're starting, plug it in, it's like an oven. You don't have to add anything except a few wood chips. Let's see. Nathan Parker, how you doing? Good to see you. Krilla Svensson, cheers from Sweden. Looking forward to some Swedish recipe soon. I will be doing, I think I might have mentioned this before. I will be doing technically it's on my dad's side. Both my parents are passed away, but when I was growing up, my mom and dad every year would make Swedish potato sausage. Tons of it around the holidays. My dad was 100% Swedish. His family emigrated here from Sweden in the late 1800s. And so we would make that potato sausage every year. And just, I loved it. So we will be making it. My mom taught, you know, me how to make it. And she even taught, you know, my kids how to make it, which is kind of cool when they were little. So yeah, we'll be making some Swedish potato sausage from scratch because it has pork in it. So we got to cube that up and put it through the grinder. Keith Bennett, how you doing, Keith? Hi, Rye from across the pond. All right, nice to have you here. Pat McDonald, correct. I'm not sure what correct was for. Did I say something? I'm not sure. Oh, correct, Long Island. Got it. Davy Campbell, hello, friend. Love your stuff from Newcastle upon Tyne, UK. Great, man. We got a lot of people from across the pond today. Yeah. Keith Bennett, set and forget cooking. Absolutely. That's the beauty of a pellet or electric. If you want sort of simplicity and get the smoke, you know, flavor and things like that, nothing wrong with pellets or electrics. Dwayne, it is warm in Alberta. I saw the weather forecast for places like Manitoba and parts of the U.S. Midwest. You all are under a deep freeze. Oh, so you're not having that then. You're actually doing okay. Not too cold. That's nice. Dan Hamilton, it's a chilly 59 degrees here in Florida. Yeah, I'm in California, so Dan, you and I, I'm in Southern California, so weather-wise, chilly for me is like upper 50s. I think today we're probably going to be around 80 today, which is warm for right now. We've had a little bit of a chilly spill, which has been nice. Donald Yardley, hi, Rye. I like how you always list the items used in the videos and where to get it. Well, thank you. Yeah, I try to do that because I get a lot of questions through Facebook and things like that. People asking, what was that thing you used? And in fact, someone just the other day, and it might have been in a comment in one of the videos, was, what are those things that were holding the charcoal? And I take it for granted sometimes that those, those little Weber briquette baskets are something some people might not have seen. And those are great. I love using those things because they contain it. You can move them around. You can put one on one side, one on the other. You can put them together. So yeah, those Weber briquette baskets are nice. And I try and list the things that people, might want to check out. Douglas Van Dyke just bought a pellet smoker from Walmart. Works awesome. Great. Yeah, like I said, I think number one on my list, I've always said this, is that I want to get to the 26-inch kettle for some more real estate on the kettle. And then number two right now, I believe, is a pellet. So I've been looking at different ones, and I'm not sure which one I'll go with. Anywhere between a Camp Chef, a Yoder, a Traeger. I'm just not sure yet. Dwayne, Swedish potato sausage sounds really good. It is, actually. It's surprising. It's potato, but there's also ground pork in there. There's many different recipes, but sticking to what my mom and dad used to make, and it was my dad's mother's recipe, which is basically ground pork, ground potatoes, onions, some seasoning, not very much, and then you boil it up to cook it. And then we would do is we would freeze that then and take it out, and fry it up in a pan whenever you wanted some. Add some salt. Really good. Really, really good. Randy Claflin, how you doing, Randy? Hey, Rye, the bacon wrapped pork loin came out great. Family loved it. Looking at spring to do a brisket. Too cold to cook now here in Michigan. I hear you. Yeah, I get it. It's pretty frigid out there right now from what I understand. So, yeah. Krillis, do you know from what town in Sweden your ancestry came from? I do. Let me just really quick see if I can find it. I used to have it right here. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Because it's kind of interesting. I know about 2 generations back in Sweden. Not more than that, because the records are a little bit more difficult to get to. But let me just see, because it was kind of interesting. And it was the whole thing of they changed their name slightly when they came to the United States and things like that. So let me see. No, not that one. Let's see. Where is... Okay, let's see. I know I had it here somewhere. Okay, I know I'm going to mispronounce this, because this is like the official spelling. So one side was from, let me pull this up here, Friksanda Soken Varmland. I have no idea where that is. And there was another place, I can't remember the exact name, but they came here in the 1800s. Yeah. All right, let's see. Char Griller, how you doing? Good to see you. Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue. Buenos dias, right? Buenos dias to you, my friend. Dan Hamilton, you should see all the people here in Florida in ski parkas. I'm from Colorado, and I think it's hilarious. That is pretty funny, yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite, cooking or writing? Cooking. Easy. I mean, I've been writing for so long that, it's a very different process. Cooking and making videos is an immediate satisfaction to not only enjoy the food, but to see reactions to a video when you put it out. And I've always enjoyed making video things, but in terms of YouTube and being able to do that, yeah, no, I enjoy, like I said, I want this to be what I do full time versus writing full time, and I think it will eventually get there. It's going to take a little bit of time. I won't stop writing. I still enjoy writing, and I got way too many, stories that I want to tell. It's just, this is a good one. I enjoy making videos and cooking. Let's see. Nathan Parker, hey, I'm in your area today. I found my way to Ontario in the 70s here. No smoking for me, though. Trucker problems. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, Ontario, not too far from me. My daughter, when she comes home from college, flies in and out usually of Ontario Airport just because it's usually cheaper and easy access, nice, smaller airport. Yeah. Dwayne, did you try lutefisk? I have lutefisk stories. No, I've never tried lutefisk, but my mom had told me stories about how my dad's mother, when they were, very early on in their marriage, who lived with them, would make lutefisk in the bathtub. This is farming communities in Minnesota, way back, and my mom just hated it. So no, never had lutefisk. I doubt that I'll ever try lutefisk, just from people telling me about lutefisk. Mandy Speakman, hey, Rye, we have traveled and eaten in many countries. If time, travel, and money were no object, where in the world would you take your wife for dinner and what would you eat? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I think we would probably have, I think we'd probably go to Ireland, because she's been to Ireland before. I've never been to Ireland. Her family's all from Ireland. And have something really good there. I know she'd enjoy that, and I know I'd enjoy it. There's all that, joking about Irish food and being bland. But, since I've been married to her, big family get-togethers, cooking lots of Irish food and Irish dishes. Really good stuff. I think that would be where we'd go. Either that or Italy. Because, yeah, I think Italy would be good too. John Fisher, do you have any videos on making jerky in the Oklahoma Joe? I've never done it. Would like to try it in the spring. I haven't, and I personally wouldn't do that just because temperature control is so hard to keep low there. And I like to do jerky somewhere around like 175 if possible at the highest. And the Oklahoma Joe, it's either going to be between 200 and 250 or 275 is sort of the sweet spot when I'm doing it. And to keep it lower than that is really hard, just because you're burning wood. So I actually prefer to do my jerky in the electric smoker or the oven. But I've never done it on the Joe, and I think it would be pretty tough, actually. Let's see. Mark Sadler, I like Richard in the kitchen video too, and of course yours. Cool, thank you. Dan Hamilton, have you ever done beef jerky on your smoker? Yeah, I have 2 different videos on using the electric smoker for making beef jerky. So if you just search for beef jerky on my channel, you'll see those 2 videos. And I do jerky not to preserve it, because I don't take it to that ultra state of dryness. I do it so that we can eat it over the next few days. Like when my daughter went back to college after the winter break, she asked me to make her some jerky to take back there so she and her friends could have some. So we made a bunch of jerky and she took back with her. Yeah. Let's see. Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue. Is that Gumby? Yeah, let's see. Do you see Gumby? Where's Gumby? Gumby is... Where's Gumby? Yeah, Gumby's right up there. You spotted Gumby. Yeah. There's a whole story with Gumby that I'll share someday when I have some more time. That Gumby goes back to... when my wife and I worked together before we were married, so a long time ago. Yeah. Gary King, yeah, and Yoda is, let's see, Yoda is right, come on, there we are. Yoda's right there next to my Bat Cow mug. Dwayne, I have 3 grandparents who were born in Eastern Europe. Only one was born in Alberta, but her parents were from Eastern Europe. Yeah. Let's see, my parents were, I'm trying to think of when half of the side of my mom's family came from Ireland. Her mother's mother came from Ireland, and her mother's father. So her grandparents on her mother's side came from Ireland. In fact, really interesting story. My mother's grandfather from Ireland, who came here, and they lived in Minnesota. They were farmers. He served in the Civil War. And the Minnesota Cavalry, I can't remember, 2nd Cavalry or something like that. And then he, on one day, he went to town, like took the wagon to town, and the wagon came back without him, with the ox pulling it, and during a blizzard that came out of nowhere. And so he ended up freezing to death on the prairie, and you know, left her basically alone with a bunch of kids. And so yeah, it was so that side of the family had some tragedy there. But yeah, let's see. Gary King, smoke meat you will. Yeah, Yoda would say that. Krillis, Varmland, I guess you say that's lovely there. It's only 2 hours from where I live. Oh, okay. So you know where that would be. Okay. And I know there's another place that the other side of the parents were from, which was like, I'm going to say this wrong, and because I don't have it written right where I can get to it. It's like Slimage something. So I've looked it up on a map to see where they were from, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Tom Calhoun, how you doing, Tom? Any tips on how to get better bark on a Weber kettle pulled pork? I use snake with water pan, then usually foil. Would going unwrapped yield crisper bark? Yeah, it would. And if you can, instead of using foil, if you're having trouble with the bark, try paper. Try butcher, like the pink butcher paper, which is for you know, smoking and grilling. It's not meant for going directly over, you know, coals. It'll catch on fire. It's paper. But I've found better results with that when you're trying to preserve the bark. But you got to give it time to develop the bark first on there, and then not let it get soggy. Let's see. Mark St. Louis. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Greetings from Maine, right? Greatly appreciate all your recipes and learning from your followers as well. Man, I got to tell you, I've never been to Maine, and Maine is one of those states that I absolutely want to go to. I want to go to the coast of Maine. I've dreamed of that because it just looks so beautiful. So, oh man, yeah. Let's see. Camp Meat Barbecue. What part of Minnesota are I? Let's see. My mom, early in her life, she was born in North Dakota in a place called Page. And then they moved to near Alexandria, Minnesota. And my dad's family had settled right near Alexandria too, when, you know, a couple generations back. So they were all farmers. You know, that was their gig, farming. Dwayne Wadka, there's an Ontario in California. Ontario is a Canadian province. Yeah, there's an Ontario. Wait, who said that? Oh, yeah, he was trucking. Yeah, Ontario is a city, I don't know, probably 20 minutes from me. Has an airport there, international airport. Yeah, it's just in Southern California, every city blends into every city. There's not any definition between the cities. There's no, like, gap. Everything is like a great metroplex from basically San Diego up to Santa Barbara. Everything's connected. So, yeah, there's an Ontario here. Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue. He would come to El Paso, Texas to try my brisket. I'd love to try your brisket, man. I'd love you to fire it up on that smoker that looks like something out of an Indy race, man. That's an awesome smoker you have. Dan Hamilton, jerky works well in the pellet because of the temp control. Yeah, that too. I've never done it on a pellet, so if you can get that temp control down there, that's perfect, yeah. Hey, Mark, thank you very much for the super chat, the donation to the Meat Fund. So let's see. Let's bring out some classic Bat Cow for that one. And again, thank you very much. Let's bring Bat Cow out.
Bat Cow thanks you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate the donation to the Meat Fund. Yeah, and I'm still working on the animation for the number 4 that will wrap up that story of Bat Cow, Pig Robin, and Chicken Joker. It's just been crazy busy to try and get that done. But thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Christopher Collins, I find more and more interesting Asian barbecue techniques. What's your take on using MSG as part of the seasoning process? I don't use MSG. I've had bad reactions to MSG. I'm talking from years and years and years ago, so I just avoid it. It's just it's a choice. And I don't really know many people that do use MSG as part of a seasoning. So, yeah, it's just, I don't use it. I'm always from spoon to electric cooker. If you could only have one cooking device, what would it be? Weber kettle. That would be it. I can do it just about anything on a Weber kettle. Yeah. I can, direct grill, indirect grill, smoke. Yeah, it's really, in my opinion, one of the most perfect cookers ever invented. Scott Collier, good afternoon from Springfield, Missouri. What's on the grill today? Hey, Scott, how you doing? On the grill today, actually, finishing up some stuff for a video tomorrow, is some lobster and some shrimp. So that video you'll have to check out tomorrow. Dwayne, my maternal great-granddad had suffered from hypothermia. He passed away in the 20s. Yeah, back then there was, like I said, going to town. This was in the 1800s when he'd be my great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather? My great-grandfather, when he, froze to death on the prairie. They found him later in a snowbank, next to a road. And, yeah, it was a lot harder then. Brian Veestrom, today is beef jerky in the electric smoker using a coffee-based marinade. Nice, that's really good. Not sure what wood yet, leaning towards oak. Yeah, oak with coffee would be good. I always prefer, I like hickory. I think hickory mixes well with stuff, with something a little bit sweeter too. Yeah. GT's barbecue, that ribeye burrito was money. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. It was good. And one of the things that's nice about doing it that way is when you do those long slices and you lay them in the burrito, and if they're chopped up and you take a bite and it's not bound together, it might fall out. But those long strips hold together in there, and that ribeye worked really well for that. Yeah. MD Outdoors. MD, how you doing? Hey, Ryan, just did a venison roast for the first time on my Oklahoma Joe's smoker. Thanks for recommending it to me. It's amazing. Just posted a video of it today. Nice. I'll check it out. Yeah, man, getting venison here is difficult to source good venison. It didn't used to be that difficult, but it just is. We're not in an area that has a lot of hunting and a lot of game processing, so it's more difficult to get that. But so, yeah, jealous. One of my favorite meals I've ever had is a New Zealand red deer at a restaurant many, many years ago, and it was just awesome. Yeah, so I love venison. James Mainstream, you live 45 minutes west of Alexandria. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so you're totally in that area. I think the area my dad grew up in at the time when he was young was called Holmes City. It's not a place now, but it was a very large Swedish sort of area at that point. There were a lot of Swedish immigrants there. All farmers, yeah. Mark Sadler, sounds great going to Maine. Yeah, I'd love to go to Maine. I will eventually. Camp Meat Barbecue, no way. I grew up near Alexandria in a little town nearby. Wow, small world. Wow, cool. What actual town? Well, that was Alexandria, was where they sort of lived after. I'm trying to remember. So Holmes City was where my dad grew up, and then moved to Alexandria, which isn't that far away. It's all in, I think it's Douglas County. There, and then my mom's family moved from North Dakota to Alexandria. Yeah. Nathan Parker, Ontario is in the Los Angeles, California area. Yep, it's just east of here. It's in, I think it's technically San Bernardino County right now. I think that's San Bernardino County right there. So just next door, really. Doug Cox, Bat Cow. Yep. Mitchell Davis, hi Rye. You've been rather prolific with your videos. Do you worry about running out of ideas? Some of my favorite cooking channels jumped the shark and stopped making videos. Not really, because I think you can go through cycles. When you're making videos, that some things are always good. I mean, rib, like I could make one rib video a week and it would do very well. People love rib videos just from the data. Same thing with things like pulled pork and brisket. But I'm trying to create sort of a breadth of videos that aren't just always on the grill or always on the smoker or always in the kitchen. So I look at it this way. I can do, I did several videos of versions of my mom's cracker pie last year because there were several ways to prepare it and different ways to do it. So I think, as long as you're being creative, that's good. As long as you're not trying to be creative just to be weird and make, videos that are just sort of like, wow, someone stares at it. I actually want to make most of my videos so that people could actually make them at home. I don't want them to be too crazy. So I don't really think I'm going to run out of ideas. I think it's, it's just fun to do. I'm having a great time doing it. Yeah. Let's see. Nathan Parker, funny story. I'm from Georgia, but used to live in Ontario, Canada. Well, yeah, I mean, Ontario's, I always think it's funny when I see Hollywood somewhere. Like there's a Hollywood in California. There's Hollywood in Florida. There's Hollywoods in lots of places. Yeah. Dwayne, I had some really tasty ham yesterday. There was that and some really good Caesar salad. It was part of pierogi. Ooh, I love pierogies. My daughter really loves pierogi. Yeah. Mitchell Davis, sorry I spelled your name wrong. That's all right. I've been having my name spelled wrong my entire life, so I'm not even worried about it. Scott Collier, sounds good. Look forward to the video. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. We've done it a couple times over the past 3 weeks. A lot of times we'll do something and decide. And when I say we, I'm talking about my wife because she's integral to everything we do. And we'll go, hey, that might make a good video. So we'll eat. You know, you eat every day and you make things every day, and we cook at home most of the time. So it's always like generating ideas potentially for videos. So yeah. Let's see. Sounds good for Mitch Char Griller says Mitchell was that jump the shark or drill the shark. I used to really like shark, actually. I don't like it as much anymore, but I really used to like shark. I prefer swordfish, you know. Douglas Cox, barbecuing chicken today, all awry. Yeah, nice. Dwayne, I really love venison. I really love venison too. Camp Meat Barbecue, Holmes City is 3 miles from my parents' house. Wow, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I remember visiting the farm my dad grew up on when I was very young. It was abandoned by then. The land they still owned, but they leased it out to an adjacent farmer, and the old farmhouse was still there. It's long bulldozed now, but I remember going in and looking up the stairs because you couldn't go up the stairs. The stairs had collapsed, and in the upstairs through one of the doors, you could see an old brass bed, and everything had just been at a certain point, you know, abandoned in there, and yeah. It's crazy. Let's see. Mandy Speakman, we've been enjoying your indoor cooking lately. The weather has been far too cold here in Manchester to be outside. Yeah, what we're doing today is mostly indoors. I'm doing a little bit of the grilling outdoors, but you could definitely do the whole thing indoors. So, yeah, look for that tomorrow. Jonathan Taylor, hey, Rise, sorry I'm late. No problem, Jonathan. Good to see you. James Mainstream, don't quit on us, man. I'm not quitting on you. I enjoy this too much. Carbon, I am. I've been watching for quite some time and enjoy your channel. I have an offset stick and a Weber kettle and an electric smoker. So this sounds like me. Found a product called the Amazing Smoke Tube. Have you tried one? No, but I know people who've used smoke tubes, especially for lower temp cookings, and they love them. I just haven't used one yet. I've heard of one. Bud Light Daddy One, how you doing? Going to try a goat leg here soon. What's your take on goat? I've only had goat a couple times in my life. I'm trying to remember. Is it birria? Birria, I think is the Spanish pronunciation for, I don't know if it's goat or if that's a preparation of it. I enjoyed it. I really did. It's one of those things that's hard to source here where I live. Doug Cox, really glad to see you incorporating cast iron pans, Dutch ovens into your vids. Yeah, I love cast iron. I do. It can be a pain. In fact, someone in a comment today said, man, the cast iron is a PITA, you can decipher. But, and I said, you're right, it can be. It takes some care, but the results you can get from it are amazing if you're willing to put in that time. James Mainstream, I'm about to grill for the first time during the winter season, and it's set -7 out. Is there anything I need to adjust for? Yeah, you may need to adjust for the temp. You may need to use more fuel. But I wouldn't, remember, start with what you think you would need normally. You can always add more. It's really hard to back out of it once you've got too much going. Also, if it's -7 and if it's dry, you probably may have to watch for moisture. Now, you can't just like take moisture, a cup or pan of water and put it there. If the thing's not heated up, it'll just freeze. But once your cooker is heated up, if you need moisture, a small pan of water, hot water in there would help. So yeah, watch for moisture too and see how dry things are. Wesley Mitchell, I got creative with some hot dogs and a balsamic vinaigrette glaze. That is creative with hot dog. Wow. Adam Morales, hello again from Palm Springs. Just fired up my Kamado to grill some burgers and a couple American Wagyu. Ooh, NY strips. Nice. Nice. That sounds good. Mark Sadler, writers are creative. Yeah, we try to be. We try to be. That's part of being a writer is you just are. You're making stuff up all the time. So your brain is running. Mine is. Like I have more ideas and stories just in lists of things that I keep that I will ever be able to write. Ever. They're going to go to my grave with me because I just won't have time. Jonathan Taylor, that kettle zone you had recently looked amazing. I've never seen that and now want to get one. Do you think lining the bottom with coals and lighting one side would be like the snake method? I think you could do that. Yeah, and really you could do both sides because with both deflector plates in there for that kettle zone, you're really just creating an entire indirect zone. So the snake method would only be to make your cook longer, which would work just fine. Let's see. Dwayne, there's a Vancouver in British Columbia in Canada and a Vancouver. Yeah, right across the border too, isn't it? Brandon Larson, hello from Salt Lake City. Getting ready to smoke a chuck roast on the Weber kettle. Nice. Cool. Nice. Krillis, if you run out of ideas, I'll send you some Swedish cooking books. Okay, cool. Actually, it's funny. You know, I have recipes written down from my mom and from you know, other family stuff, and we have like a little family cookbook. I think I showed it once in a live stream. So yeah, no, I love recipes. Char Griller had a buddy whose name was always being misspelled. He used to collect envelopes with all the variations of misspelled names. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Yeah, my name, just because of the way it's spelled, has been mispronounced, misspelled from the time I was in school. And it's funny, not 100% related to that, but when you said saving like envelopes, I still have a box somewhere, and I'm not sure where it is, with every rejection letter I got before my first book was accepted and published back in 1992. Over 200 rejection letters. And those are fun because a lot of them, back then, everything was by mail. You know, there was no real internet that of the type that it is today. Email was just starting, and it wasn't really used in business. So I saved everything, and every mean comment from every editor and agent and everything. Oh, it was great to look back on those. Let's see. Dan Hamilton, how often do you rely on an instant read thermometer for your grill cooking? Almost always. I will almost always, even if there's a temperature probe in there, I will almost always verify, unless it's something that's not critical for that, you know. But the instant read also becomes a tenderness probe too. You know, you're using it, sliding it in there to see if rib meat is tender, or you know, the pork butt's tender, things like that. But so I use that constantly. I use it inside too, when we're cooking, you know, steak inside, or hamburgers or chicken. We'll use that inside. Dwayne, it's nice to see old buildings in the countryside. It's neat how my ancestors and other people's families lived long ago. Yeah, I wish that the farmhouse was still there, but, you know, it was, by that time, it was already over 100 years. Well, no, it was more than 100 years old at that time. So, yeah, it does. Unathi Finance, how you doing? Hi, Rye, Dean from South Africa. Just finished eating out smoked oxtail on a Weber kettle. Thank you for all your awesome videos. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Smoked oxtail is really good. I did a video with some smoked oxtail and smoked short ribs, and I did them. I think I used them in a burger, if I remember correctly. I used the oxtail meat in a burger, I think. It was good. Chris Charshow. Chris, how you doing? Hello, Rye. Was wondering if you had an opinion on the Kettle Zone versus the Barbecue Dragon Grill Stone. Got some beef short ribs, dry briny for tomorrow on the kettle. I'm really thinking about those. If I had to pick one right now, it would be the Kettle Zone. I'm going to be trying some more on the Barbecue Dragon. I like the Kettle Zone for one main reason. It has both deflector plates. So it's kind of like what people say, you know, I think it's in the Kamado or the Big Green Egg. I can't remember, that divide and conquer thing. You can use one or the other. Whereas the Barbecue Dragon has just the single grill stone to create a separate sort of indirect zone, a radiant zone. So if you are looking for something where you want that option of having half or full, then really the Kettle Zone works really well. I've been impressed with it. And got to be honest, the cooking grates and the material with it are really, really sturdy. They're thick, the metal. I like it. Let's see. Char Griller, I have a smoke tube. Works great for cold smoking or adding extra smoke on the pellet grill. Cool. Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue. See you later, Rye. Well, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Dwayne, I did have access to moose meat before I made it, and it was so good. I've never had moose. I've had elk. I've had deer. Yeah, I've never had moose. Doug Flint, where would you recommend I source wood for an offset smoker? I live in SoCal. If you live in SoCal near Orange County, I get my wood at a place called the Woodshed in Orange. They have a great selection of just about any kind of wood you can want, and some that you wouldn't guess. Like I picked up, when I went in there to get wood one day last year, I asked, like, you got anything different? And they said, we have some olive wood. And I'd never tried olive wood, and I love it. I love it on beef especially. So, yeah, it's in Orange. It's called the Woodshed. And they do a lot of stuff with supporting barbecue teams and things like that, too. So if you go to their website, if you just search Google for the Woodshed, you'll find it in Orange County. And that's really one of the few places I've been able to find that has a wide selection of wood in Southern California. Let's see. The Home Dad, I like the Yoda. Krillis, wow, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. And let's bring out number 2 in the Bat Cow series. So if we can see if Bat Cow might have a friend. Let's see.
Bat Cow thanks you.
Right on, Bat Cow.
I just love that. Thank you very much, Krillis. I appreciate that. That's very, very generous of you to donate to the Meat Fund. Red Rider, hey Rye, hope your day is going well. I've been rolling smoke on my first brisket. It's been around almost 7 hours. Just wanted to say thanks for helping me give the courage to do it. Yeah, I mean, the thing I've learned over a long time of smoking is just enjoy the process. You know, give it, the time is there to allow the meat to develop, you know, tenderness or doneness, whatever your ultimate thing you're going for is. But you got to enjoy the process. I mean, think about it. 7 hours, you know, you could be hanging out, drinking beer, having friends over. I think it's really one of the great things about, you know, barbecuing and smoking, things like that, is you just get to spend time either with yourself just relaxing or with other people. Pickles. Hey, Pickles, how you doing there? You come back? You were here before, right? I thought you were here before. Yeah. Stefan Lingtel. Stefan from Sweden looking today. We have -10 today. Wow. That's chilly. Can you grill more pig? Well, I am actually doing a pork. I'm doing a pork butt tomorrow, I think, for something this week. So there will be some more pig. I'd love to do a whole pig. I'd have to do probably a 15-pounder if I was going to do it on the offset that I have, 15 or 20. So I might do that. I might do a pig, you know, in the next 6 months if I can get a good source on it that's not, you know, outrageously expensive. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, what are some book titles you've written? Let's see. I write under my own name, Ryan Douglas Pearson, but I also write under, I do a post-apocalyptic series under the pseudonym Noah Mann. And so if you went to Amazon and looked up, you know, Noah Mann, Noahmann, you'd find those books. And then, you know, my name, just normally. I should probably put some links in the video descriptions just so people can find them, because I've had a lot of people ask about that. But, you know, these are kind of separate things, writing and cooking. But, yeah, those are titles. I mean, I can run through titles. Well, I wrote a book called Simple Simon, which became the movie Mercury Rising with Bruce Willis. The poster used to be back over here, but it had too much reflection on it, so I had to move it. The lights would hit it in the camera, and it was just becoming too much of a pain. So, you know, I've written. I wrote the screenplay for the Nicolas Cage movie Knowing. You know, I've worked in screenwriting and books for, like I said, 26 years now, 27 years. So yeah. Chargriller, did you ever write them back to say, ha ha ha, how do you like me now? No, it was always just funny to look at, like, over time and see, yeah, okay. I'm doing okay now. I'm doing okay. Jonathan Taylor, the oxtail was in the Wow Burger. That's right. That's right. And that was a Wow Burger with that oxtail. Ricky Dove, Ricky, how you doing? Hey, Ricky, I've got a picture of that smoker of yours in the viewer slides today, which we'll be getting to in just a minute here. Let's see. Camp Meat Barbecue. Where did you purchase your barbecue Dragonstone from? Someone I know had 2 delivered broken. The barbecue Dragonstone, that was sent to me, and mine arrived fine actually. And my only complaint with it was there were no instructions, and I know the company has gone ahead and fixed that, which is good. That's good on them. They took that advice. In fact, they even emailed me a set of instructions after that. So, but no, mine didn't arrive broken. It's still working fine. And I'm going to be using it again in more videos. So no, they sent that to me to test out. They also sent me that spinning grate that I wasn't really sure about. I've been dubious about those things, and but I've actually found uses for it. In some of the videos recently, if you've watched, I've used it, and it's actually, it can be useful. It's not a replacement for a normal grate, I don't think, but it can be useful for certain things. Let's see. Cooking with Chris the Butcher. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, that's an awesome Bat Cow Chargriller. I agree. Let's see. Where are we at here? Stefan, I'm missing your Oklahoma smoker. I will be using the Highland, the Oklahoma Joe Highland, I think this week, actually. If not this week, coming week, the following week. So in the next couple of weeks, I will have another video on that. It's just one of those things, especially in colder weather here, and we've had a lot of rain recently, so it's really impossible to do that in the rain unless I throw up a cover over it, because it's not in a covered area. So I like to use it, but I have to sort of decide when it's the best time to use it, because it also uses a lot of fuel, especially when it's colder, and you have to manage that. So it can be expensive, but yeah, I'll be using it again in the next week or so. Jacqueline, hey Jacqueline, how are you doing? Hi Rye, you really need to do some. Oh, you really do some outstanding recipes now. Did some boneless chicken breast on the cast iron griddle on the stove with my dad. Nice. Yeah, we love to do boneless chicken breast. Not in the cast iron, but what I usually do is we will, you get a sear on it and then I finish it indirect. That's always been my favorite way, or not always, but in the last 10 years, that's been my favorite way to do just about all chicken to keep it from overcooking. I'm just not that skilled at frying it directly, whether it's grill or in a pan, and not over or undercooking it. Chicken for me that way does the best finishing it indirect. I always like to start it, or vice versa, doing a reverse sear on it. Yeah. Let's see. Char griller. I use barbecue to both relax and bribe people to hang out with me. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, people do want to come around when they smell that coming out of the backyard, don't they? Red Rider. Yes, sir. That's exactly what I'm doing. Relaxing, enjoying the process with cold beer. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. Red Rider, I'm going to try and find some friends to come over and help me with it. I think if you have that smoke rolling and stuff going, you're not going to have too much trouble with friends. Yeah. Hey, Brian, thank you very much for the super chat, the donation to the Meat Fund, who's calling for more Bat Cow. So we're going to now continue the story here with Bat Cow and Pig Robin. And, well, you got to have a villain, right? So let's see what happens.
Bat Cow thanks you.
Right on, Bat Cow.
Oh, no, Bat Cow.
You're mine now, piggy.
I just love that. I just love that. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate that. Let's see. Smoking Bears. How you doing, Smoking Bears? Good to see you. Carolina Kayak Adventures. Hi from coastal North Carolina. Been using your recipes and have had some great ribs. Thanks for what you do. I appreciate that. Thank you. Pickles. Just made a white chili last night. Yum. Yeah, my wife really likes white chili, and I don't think we've done one yet, which probably needs to be rectified. But okay, we're going to get into a couple things. We're going to do the viewer photos in just a second. But before that, there's a couple videos that I want to share with you, that you should probably check out, from a couple different channels. I like to do this every once in a while when I see like a video from another channel that I just really like. And the first one is going to be, and I'll drop a link to it in the chat here, is from Phil in Florence. If you've never been to Phil's channel, it's a great channel where he does some really great stuff. And I'm dropping a link here to this video, which was beef ribs, which were just awesome. You can see in that picture there how great they look. So follow that. Check out, Phil's video on this. It's really, really good. And he, like I said, he does some great stuff. I love the mods he's done to his Weber Smoky Mountain. He's just like the king of that thing. So, yeah. And then another video that I saw this week, I can't remember if it was this last week or week before, was on Josh and Babe's channel. And I think it was when Josh was home alone. And it was an ahi steak recipe, which was just great. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat for that too. But you can see that, like a crust, pepper crusted, just really beautiful. So I always like, if I see videos from channels that I go, ooh, yeah, I like to share it during my live streams occasionally. It's not an every week thing, but definitely go check out those videos from Phil and Florence and from Josh and Babe, because they are definitely good stuff to see, good food. All right. So let's really quick jump into viewer photos, and then I'll jump back in chat. Let's get the viewer slides up today. Let me get this going here. All right. Brian Vstrom, are you still here? Are you still here? We've got some short ribs you were doing, man. And these are actually some good looking sizable short ribs. Look at that. Let's go on here. Look at that color. Brian, are you still here, man? Just awesome. Look at that. And look at the size of those bones in this things, too. Really good looking ribs, man. Ribs like this, I've said it, others have said it, they're like brisket on a stick. Look at that. It just is beautiful. I mean, how big that is and how much meat there is there. Just awesome, Brian. Kevin Nash. Kevin, I don't know if I saw you in chat today, but this is Kevin. He was basically developing a pellicle, which is sort of a skin sort of outside of Canadian bacon that he was making. So let me, he's got it all smoked up there. Oh, that looks really good. Good color. Kevin, if you're in here, man, nicely done. Look at that. Just beautiful. Really beautiful. And this was a picture Kevin sent of his kettle. If you can see it there at the arrow, covered in, I don't know how much snow that is. That's a good 6 inches, it looks like to me on the kettle. But that poor cold kettle right there. Oh, man. And then Ricky Dove, custom smoker. Ricky, you built this yourself, I think. You build smokers. Look at that. That firebox is massive. That is a massive firebox on that thing, Ricky. Well done. Robert Barnes doing some chicken there. He's using a Carb Quick here to get a crispy skin on it, I believe, with the Vortex. Yeah, look at that. It's almost got that fried chicken look to it. Oh, beautiful. Robert, I don't know if I saw you in here, but look at that. That is beautiful. Really nice. And then, got to finish with some ribs on his 26-inch kettle that he got. I remember that. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, then we're back to the beginning. So everybody, thank you for sending in photos. I'll get to talking about the photos in a second, but I want to acknowledge, hey, we got another super chat. Thank you, Stefan Lingtel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. He wants more pig in the videos. We've got more pig coming in the videos. So here we go. Here is a look back at an original Bat Cow.
Bat Cow thanks you.
Thank you very much, Stefan. I appreciate that. And let me just sit. And Carolina Kayak Adventures, thank you very much for the donation to the Meat Fund. Let me bring back number 2 here with our friend with Bat Cow.
Bat Cow thanks you.
Right on, Bat Cow.
Oh, man. Thank you very much, Carolina Kayak Adventures. I appreciate that. And I just wanted to jump in real quick so I didn't miss those before they roll off the screen. So let me get caught up here in chat. And then, if you have any photos that you want to be featured in a future live stream, go to my Facebook page. The link is on the screen right there. You can see. Use a private message in Facebook to send that to me and give me permission in the message. Say, give you permission to use this in a live stream. Or on a computer or desktop or laptop computer, go to my YouTube page, the About section, and use the View Email link. And you should be able to send an email to me using that. And same thing, attach the photo and say you give me permission to use it in a live stream. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Let me get caught up here. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Let's see. How are you doing? Stephanie, how are you doing? Good to see you here. Yeah, I'm glad I missed you while I was doing the pictures. Pickles, you're doing a video on the white chili? Cool. I want to see that. Yeah, because my wife really likes white chili, and we haven't made that in quite a while. I'd like to see how you do that. Brian Vistrom says, ahi tuna is the best. Absolutely. Suburban Barbecue, how you doing? Good to see you. Stephanie Jimenez, I love his wife, Janet. Yeah, Janet's side dishes on his channel are great. I love that stuff. Pickle says, Janet makes awesome sides. Absolutely. Yeah. Char Griller, really nice, Brian. Yeah, good pictures and good food we saw there today, man. Really good stuff. Brian, let's see, Suburban Barbecue, beautiful ribs. Yeah, nice smoker. Dwayne says, I agree, those ribs look great. Char Griller, nice pit, Ricky. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful smoker. And that firebox, again, is like massive. It's like a tank. Man. Ricky Dove, yes, that's what I make. The firebox on that smoker is 16 by 16. Nice. Big door on it, too, which is really good. I like that. Doug Cox, got to go. Finishing up 3 papers today for my master's degree. Great stream with super ideas, Rye. Doug, I appreciate you coming by. Get that work done. Finish that master's. You're a very accomplished gentleman, Doug. Yeah. See you later, Cap. I call him Cap because he was in the Army. Captain. McLean Jones, good afternoon, Rye. Thanks for the videos. You keep it pretty simple on your recipes, and that's all what I like about them. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy cooking. If you've seen my full physique, you know I enjoy eating. So this is just, I like to prepare things that I hope other people actually can prepare. So I don't want to get too fancy with stuff because honestly, I don't cook fancy. I mean, what does Kent Rollins say? I love it. You can't get full on fancy, you know, so there's nothing wrong with a fancy dish every now and then, but it's just not the way I cook. I like to cook things that are a little more hearty, a little more rustic, even inside. And I like simple. If I get complicated, it's for a reason. But yeah, I like doing stuff that I think other people would actually go out and try and make. Yeah. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Only Chevy, how you doing? I've been quiet in this stream, but thanks for a great one as always. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Ricky Dove, thank you. Right, Ricky, my pleasure, man. I love showing stuff like that. Someone else sent, I can't remember when it was. It was quite a, I mean, well, it's funny is this is like my 28th or 29th live stream, which is crazy to think that I've done that many so far in about, I think I started last July, so 6 months. But someone sent photos of like a smoker that his dad had built years and years ago. I believe that's what it was. And it was a massive, you know, you stand in front of it and the doors look like, you know, the hood on a car. Just beautiful. So I love showing stuff like that, that people, you know, put their time into, and it's their passion. That's great. In fact, one of my favorite channels to check out every now and then, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's like a welding channel, and he builds custom smokers. And they're just awesome to look at. He'll show the whole process. He does other things besides smokers, but the smokers that he makes are just like one of a kind because he builds them when someone wants it for a specific thing. So just gorgeous stuff, yeah. Stephanie Jimenez, what's your favorite food to cook? I've always say that tri-tip is my favorite thing to cook. I do stand by that, but I also feel like, you know, if I can cook a good burger that people will enjoy, then that really moves up there on the thing, because I think you can be more creative with burgers than you can with tri-tip. Tri-tip doesn't need a lot of stuff done to it to be done well. You know, when I use my 110 sear method on it, I get the results I want on it every time. And whatever seasoning I put on it is usually not too involved. It's just, you know, a simple rub. It's just not that, you know, difficult. Burgers, you can really try some interesting things with. You can stuff them. You can try a lot of flavors on the outside. You can mix ground beef with other things. Like was pointed out in that Wow Burger video I did, I mixed the ground beef, I think, with that oxtail, that smoked oxtail. So, yeah, you can do so much with hamburgers. So, yeah, that's probably close up there with tri-tip. You know, it's not above tri-tip, but it's close up there because there's a lot more creativity you can get into with it while still making it accessible for people to make. Yeah. Smoking Bears, just got to work, got to go. Great live. I'll be tuning in a lot more. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Yeah. And Brian says, beautiful offset, Ricky. Yeah, totally beautiful. Ricky Dove, thank you. That one is reverse flow. Nice. Nice on the reverse flow. Suburban Barbecue, I'm a woodworker, and I have mad respect for metalworkers. I love seeing the custom pits. Yeah, I've done woodworking too, and metalwork is one of those things that the skill involved in it, and it's also up here. It's that sort of creativity and what you can get the metal to do. That's what I've noticed when I watch a lot of metalworking videos, or I know people who've done metalwork. It's really an artistic sort of thing. Even if they're building, you know, what you wouldn't think is artistic, maybe a smoker, there's artistry involved in sort of envisioning how you're going to get the metal to bend. You know, I find that fascinating. And I remember taking metalworking in junior high school. We had to take, back in the day when you took shop classes, which is one of those things I think is so missing in today's schools. You know, we had to take woodworking, we had to take metalworking, and another one, and I took drafting. And I ended up taking drafting through all junior high and high school, and I wanted to be an engineer. That was what I originally went to college for. But watching the metalworking, I always remember our metalwork teacher was missing 2 fingers. And he would always, his thing he started the class with each year, everybody had the story, was talking about how he lost those 2 fingers by not paying attention. So, but yeah, metalworking and stuff like that, it's artistry. It really is. Char Griller, got to go. Catch you next time. Thank you, Char Griller. I appreciate you coming by. Pickles Barbecue, what's my favorite international food? Ooh, good question. You know, And I think we then get into sort of the discussion of, is it really international? It is, but it's been so Americanized. I would say it's a close tie between pizza and lasagna. I just love those two Italian dishes. And there's so many variations on them. And a lot of it's been Americanized. But pizza is one of those things that I crave. And it's funny because I can't have a lot of cheese because I'm lactose intolerant. But I can have a little bit if I take, like, you know, those little dairy pill things. So when I get pizza, it's like I just crave it now. Because I didn't always have that lactose problem. That started like about 5 years ago. You know, you get older and things change in your body and like kick you. But yeah, I would have to say pizza or lasagna would be my favorite sort of international thing. I don't know. I mean, if I was talking about like something more obscure, I'm not sure what that would be. I've tried a lot of things in my life, but I'd love to have like really true, authentic, you know, pizza in Italy someday. That would be great, I think. Ricky Dove, awesome rhyme. Make them an order, custom built, whatever the customer wants. But yeah, you guys are artists, man. Ricky says I've been welding for over 25 years now in the UK, man. Yeah, in the UK, it's interesting because I know from just viewers and comments and things, a lot of people are really into barbecue and smoking, but they have difficulties in sourcing wood. You know, like just in certain areas too. So you have a specific type of wood you can get, and sometimes you can't get other things. So it takes a lot of creativity. But yeah, mad props to you for those smoker building, man. Dwayne, in February, there's a Greek buffet that will be happening at a Ukrainian church hall. It will have a bunch of Greek dishes. It costs only $20. Nice. Yeah, there's a church down the street from us which has a Polish festival. It's a Polish church. And we would go every year for several years, and great food. Great food. Carolina Kayak Adventures, have you tried any charcuterie? I'm trying a few dry cure meats and been stuffing some sausages. No, I've never done any dry cured meats. I've done sausages before, and I'll be doing some sausage videos coming up. Swedish potato sausage, like I mentioned. I'm also going to be doing some Italian sausage from scratch, grinding and stuffing. But I've never done the charcuterie and the dry sausages. So I love it, but I don't know that I'm set up for wanting to do that right now. Maybe down the road. You know, I'd be more interested in actually trying to do my own cheeses before that, because that would be interesting. And I've watched a lot of, you know, videos on people making cheeses. There's a channel, a guy, he lives up in, I think it's Canada. Yeah. His name is Dale Calder, D-A-L-E-C-A-L-D-E-R. He's an older gentleman. He has just the most calm channel of things that are going on. It's just so peaceful. And he has this little cabin out back of his house, or the cottage he calls it, and he grows things when it's not winter, and he has chickens, and he makes bread, and he makes cheeses. And I just love watching his cheese making videos. So if you've never been to his channel, yeah, you know, check it out. It's Dale Calder. Just really relaxing. He's such a nice older gentleman, and it's just great. Let's see. James Mainstream, pizza without cheese is just as amazing. And I do get that. There's a couple restaurants we go to that have great pizza, and they're really good about doing it without cheese. And, you know, I usually get it then light on the sauce and ask them to overcook it a bit so it gets a little crispier. But yeah, I've done cheese or pizza without cheese before, no problem. I just like when I'm able to do it every once in a while. And I find that if I have some milk products, you know, a couple times a week, it doesn't bother me as much. It's kind of like if I forget and I go whole hog, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to have pizza, and I'm going to have a milkshake, and I'll have some ice cream, you know, then I pay for it. Let's see. Dwayne, what is your thoughts on vegan cheese and other vegan foods like vegan ribs? I've tried vegan cheese, and I just be honest, I don't like it. I don't have any problem with other vegan dishes. In fact, there's a couple different vegan cookies that I get at Trader Joe's. They have some really great vegan trail mix cookies, which I like, and it's great because there's no, you know, lactose products in it. There's also at Whole Foods, I get their vegan donuts, which are really good. I can't tell the difference between those and, you know, regular donuts with you know, fat or things in them. So I don't have any experience on a lot of the other vegan foods. I've never had vegan ribs, but yeah. Cat Meat Barbecue, later I gotta go. I'll be back. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming, and hope we see you again in next week's stream. Let's see. I'm always. You're a gentleman. Thanks for the live stream. Keep on cooking. Well, thank you very much. I'm always. Appreciate that. Suburban barbecue. Yep, I want to try cheese too. Yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, like I said, it hit me when I got, turned 50. It hit me. Richie Getz, how you doing, Rich? Indiana, thanks for all your enjoyable, delicious videos. What's been your most difficult cook? My most difficult cook was my first brisket video. It was a brisket overnighter, and I think I'd only been making videos for a couple months, and it just turned out that I wasn't smart enough to look at the weather forecast for that day, for that night, because I was planning, I'm going to do it overnight, into the next day, I'm going to stay up all night, and it was actually really fun, but it was a challenge because it was windy as heck. If you see in that video, I had a real problem maintaining temp in the smoker, in the offset. I used twice as much wood just because it kept backdrafting. And there were things I could have done different, but, I wasn't thinking at that time. I hadn't planned for the wind. And, you live and learn, but it was probably one of the most fun videos I've done, too, because I was up all night, up through the dawn into, I think we finished around 11 in the morning. I finished. So it was about a 12 or 13 hour cook on that brisket. Turned out pretty darn good. I probably should have carried it a little farther. In fact, I think at the end of the video, I did a little thing like what I would have done differently. So yeah, check out that video. It was fun, to do an overnight cook, but it was very challenging. Yeah. Let's see. Kevin Knoll. Hey, how are you doing, Kevin? Good to see you. Dwayne, my grandmothers were great cooks. One had parents from Czechoslovakia. The other was half Polish, half Ukrainian from Eastern Europe. Their dishes were great. Yeah. My wife's family, like I said, is all Irish on her side. But there were, further back, there were some Polish. And so there has been people who've made Polish dishes and things in it too. My family is Swedish, and then sort of a little bit of Irish, and that sort of European-American goulash that gets mixed up when people, immigrate and from different areas. So, yeah, it's really just, my mom always referred to it as farm cooking. That's how she grew up. It's just, kind of good, solid cooking, not fancy, and, brings in influences from other things. Like I said, the Swedish potato sausage. So, yeah, I like that kind of cooking. James Mainstream, I got to bail and start this grill. Thanks for everything. Hey, enjoy your grilling today, man. Have a great time. Dwayne, a younger sister and an older sister and her husband are vegans. My other siblings, our in-laws, are not vegan. Well, look, I have some dietary restrictions. My daughter has celiac disease, can't have gluten. My wife can't have gluten. We have someone in our family who has to really watch a lot of intake because of kidney issues. So they can't have much salt or things with high potassium or phosphorus, things like that. So we have a lot of dietary things in our family we deal with, but there are great ways to do it and kind of fit things in that everybody can have. I mean, like that prime rib video I did on the gas grill near Christmas, we did half of that with salt on it and half with no salt, just using the Trader Joe's 21 seasoning salute, so that the other people in our family who couldn't have salt didn't have a problem. It was great. It was awesome. So yeah, it's difficult to work sometimes, but you can always work it. Only Chevy, I'm trying the Umai bags for dry aging beef. Oh, okay. Did you see Greg at Ballistic Barbecue? I think he used those when he did his brisket dry ages. I still got a couple of weeks left. I'll let you know how it works. I love dry aged meat. Yeah, do let us know how that works. And if you get some pictures, man, please send them if you want to. Jacqueline, Raya, I like that video where you did some juggling. That was my, which one was that? With the bread pudding one? Was that the bacon bread pudding one? With the hot dogs? Yeah. That was 3 takes to get that. Now, I cannot juggle. I actually did have someone try and teach me how to juggle, and I just don't have that. I can't do it. But yeah, that one was funny because one of the buns that I threw up and it banged off, you might have heard some glass. It actually hit the little thing that was holding the vanilla and spilled it everywhere. So we had to refill that. But so that was the best take, I think. Smokehouse Barbecue, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see where we at here. Only Chevy, so far so good. It's looking good. Yeah, that dry aging is interesting, man. Takes some commitment of time. Hey, Raspberry Rock Russell, how you doing? What's the temperature there today? I know you were down -20 the other day. Is it looking any better today? Dwayne Lodka, I love country cooking very much. Yeah, country cooking, is that farm cooking. I mean, they would go out and they'd kill a chicken, and cook the chicken for dinner, and they had corn, they had other things that they grew. It's just good, solid cooking. Nothing fancy, but great flavors. Let me tell you, my mom was a simple cook, and I remember her being so, excited when we got our first crock pot. And the things she made in that crock pot were simple but delicious. Yeah. Now let's see, Kevin Knoll, I'm going to try some of those umai bags. Never had aged beef before, and it looks amazing. It is a very interesting process. It is. When you watch, I've watched Greg at Ballistic Barbecue did 2 videos. He did one, I think, on a 30-day dry age and one on a 63-day dry age. And the results are really interesting. Yeah. Carbon, time for a blooper video. I know there is some humor in the edit room floor. Oh, there's lots. I actually started trying to put one together, but here's the interesting thing about that. I do 4 videos a week generally, sometimes 5. The amount of video footage, I actually did the calculations not yesterday, a couple days ago, because in terms of hard drive space, because I don't delete anything, I save it all. And so I save it and archive it on externals. And I don't run a RAID array yet. I will be adding one for that. But I'm going through basically I have over between 300 and 500 gigs of video every month. That's just raw video file. That's not an edited video or anything when you pull it into Adobe Premiere and start processing and doing things. That's just the raw video is 300 to 500 gigs a month. I put in another 2 gig hard drive a few months ago, and it's almost full. So then I have to archive and put back. And so, yeah. So getting to the little blooper bits in there, what I really need to do is start making a list when it happens, so I know, oh, it's in this clip in this video, so I can pull it out later without having to search for it. So yeah. Pickles Barbecue, have you cold smoked anything? I haven't yet. I think I mentioned it in a video, a live stream a couple of weeks ago or something, that I'm thinking of converting my old Masterbuilt smoker, the electric one, to cold smoking, because I know they sell a kit for that. And then just keeping my Char-Broil electric as a regular electric smoker, because that I think would be a really cool thing to do some smoked cheese, things like that, which I'm really interested in, sort of the cheese thing, which is odd because I can't really have that much cheese, but I'd like to really try that, so cold smoking would be good for that. Nolan Hollifield, Nolan, how are you doing? Thanks for the videos, man. I don't have a source for wood to use in my Oklahoma Joe's Highland offset yet. Do you recommend a particular lump charcoal? If you only can use lump charcoal in there, look for a hardwood lump, a quality one. Try, especially if you're looking for one that's a blend, because I've seen ones where they add stuff to the lump to give you more of the woody smoke stuff, and I don't like those. So if you can, look for chunks of wood. If you can't get full, sticks of wood for your offset, see if you have access, like Home Depot and Lowe's and things like that will sell wood chunks if you don't have any other supplier available. I'm fortunate that I have a wood supplier here that I can get stuff from, but yeah, just pick a quality lump if you're going to do it. That'll generate higher temps. Lump generally burns hotter, from my experience, than like briquettes. I prefer briquettes because you get a more stable temperature control with them, but I'm also using wood. So I get why you want to use the lump to get the temperatures up there. But so if you can use the lump to get the temperature up there and maintain it, and use chunks of wood versus, long sticks if you can't get those. Let's see. Raspberry Rock, -10 right now. Much colder overnight. -20 plus something. Chilly still, yeah. Kevin Knoll, Greg and Guga did brisket. Oh my God, the juice-a-lanch from them. Yeah, it's a really interesting. I mean, the shrinkage. Someone said something when I used the word shrinkage in a video once, and I always remember it from the Seinfeld episode. But yeah, that shrinkage on the brisket is really interesting. I think Greg said on one of them, it was anywhere between 30 and 50% weight that it went down. I can't remember. I think it was a 63-day dry age one, which is intense. Kevin Nash, missed your starting time. Hi, everyone. How you doing, Kevin? Good to see you. Yeah, we had some of your pictures up. I think it was a Canadian bacon and stuff, wasn't it? It was good-looking stuff. Brian Vstrom, careful building the RAID array, Rye. I thought I had it nailed down, then found the mirror did not build as expected. Back up first. Yeah, when I do it, I'm just going to do a pre-built unit. I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to probably, I can't remember the Synology. I'm probably just going to go with Synology and add the drives. I can't remember which ones they are. The black, the Western Digital Blacks or something like that, which are the enterprise. I think it's the enterprise level ones for that. I just need something where I don't go through, a 2 gig drive every, 3 or 4 months. So that's my ultimate plan, to do that versus that and then archiving on, 4 or 8 gig external drives. I want to get it all sort of centralized so I can actually do it from not just my main computer, but my laptop and things like that. Yeah. Kevin Knoll, there's some videos on how to convert your electric to cold smoker. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, some of them for doing that with that old Masterbuilt. The old Masterbuilt still works. It's just that the temperature, the element in it, over time, and it's easily, 10, 11 years old, has just kind of gotten down. It's harder to maintain a higher temp in it. And the one that I haven't been able to find the replacement part for that, even through Masterbuilt, because it's older. So I figure I'll just keep it running as long as I can, and if I can turn it into cold smoke, that's even better. Yeah. Only Chevy. I have the kit for the Masterbuilt, and it works great for cold smoking. Good to know. Yeah, that's my plan. Let's see. Daniel Lewis. Love your variety cooks. How do you have the time? I just make the time. I've committed to doing this. This is what I want to do. I'm fortunate that in my day job of writing, I pick my hours. So, if I want to write, for 3 hours in the morning or 4 hours in the morning, I can do that and then have the rest of the day to do whatever else I want. It's really just about, making that commitment to do it. I remember when I started, and I started almost 2 years ago, but about a little less than a year ago, I think around last April or so, I just basically said to myself, I think the best way to grow the channel is to do more videos, good videos, as long as they're quality content. And I just decided I'm going to do 4 videos a week. And since that time, I do not believe I've missed a week. I've even done some weeks where I've done 5 or 6. But I've committed to doing 4 videos a week. Basically what I call like my not meat videos, but sort of the meat of the viewership is like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's where I get most of my views, those type of videos, the barbecuing, things like that. And usually like midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll put another video out that might be one of those, or it might be something that's not quite, a barbecue video, something like that. So I've just committed to doing it, and it is difficult. It takes time. The video I did that came out this morning, which was the steak burrito one, took, I want to say, 4 hours to film in between everything, getting stuff prepped, and another 6 hours to edit for an 11-minute video. Now, part of that is I'm not a professional editor, but the other part of that is I'm really picky and want to make sure I get it as right as possible. And there are still things in there that I'm not happy about because, and things that I do that I just don't even think about until it's too late, which is like there's one point, if you're watching where I'm cutting the steak outside, on the cutting board. Yeah, what am I doing? I've got my arm in front of the camera. It's like, hey, great. Yeah, just let them see your arm instead of the actual steak. And then there's another one where I'm brushing the burrito and I'm holding the little thing with the barbecue sauce in front of the camera lens, blocking the burrito. So I see those things and it makes me angry at myself for a few moments, but it also reminds me you got to be more careful. So I'm not a professional editor. That's why an edit takes 6 hours. A professional editor would knock it out in an hour, but I'm getting better. I'm practicing. Yeah. Smokehouse Barbecue. I did a video on brisket shrinkage, and it was 50% on a choice brisket. Someday I'll get it produced. Nice. Yeah, 50%, but that just intensifies the flavor too, doesn't it? Stephanie, thank you for a great chat. Have a great weekend. Thank you for stopping by, Stephanie. And yeah, I'm realizing I got to cut out of here pretty soon because I got to go shopping for some stuff for tomorrow. But so let me check the last few chats here. Or let's see. Suburban Barbecue. I built a new PC and have internal archive drives in array. I chose that over a standalone solution. Yeah, if you're building new, and I've built my own PCs before in the past. I just prefer now just to buy them, and then I like the RAID array external on the network, or network attached storage, which is a RAID array for me because then I can access it easily from other things, and I don't have to run my desktop if I'm not in my office, if I'm just out, even outside. So yeah. Robert Barnes, hello. You just got here in time for me to say goodbye. How you doing, Robert? I think did we have some pictures of yours this week? I think we did. Yeah, we had some pictures of yours. We had the chicken, and then you had your nice ribs covering your 26-inch kettle, which was looking good. Carbon, cold smoke some salt. I made smoked salt, and it's good to use at the table. Yeah, I did a video on smoking salt. I didn't cold smoke it. I just low temp smoked it, made hickory salt, and we're just about out of it. I got to make some more because my son loves that stuff on hamburgers. Yeah, it's great. Let's see. Daniel Lewis. Wow, that's a ton of time, but that burrito looked awesome. It was a good burrito. It really was a good burrito. I was surprised it held together, but I was a little worried when I was out at the kettle, but it is a ton of time. I mean, videos, there's a lot of planning and prep when you're trying to do the video, get it good and make it so it flows and you're not just stumbling over yourself. And that's what I'm learning more over time. You spend more time in preparation, just like being a painter. If you're most good house painters know that, 90% of their time is spent prepping everything and only 10% is the painting. So it's kind of the same way with a video. You get everything prepped so that when you start shooting, you can just move through each segment that you're doing without having to stop and reset things and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to get better at. Let's see. Let's see. Kevin Nash, I was watching a Smoky Ribs barbecue video, short ribs. He gives you a good plug for you, right? Yeah, that was, Russ did that back in, I think it was April or May, and was very generous. He reached out to me and said, hey, man, I want to give you a shout out. I've been watching your stuff and I really enjoy it. I was like, thank you. I mean, that was awesome. I got so many new subscribers from that and new viewers, and it was just amazing. Russ is a great guy. I've been watching him for years. And so for him to reach out was like, wow. That was a really, really nice and generous thing of him to do. He's a great guy. Let's see. Kevin Nash, Smoky Ribs Barbecue Channel. Yeah. Robert Barnes, thanks. I'll have to rewatch. Yeah. And if any of you are looking to watch this, you didn't catch the whole thing, it will be up in it's unlisted when it's done, and it stays unlisted for a lot of reasons. Part of them is how YouTube puts things in your video feed. But you can always find it in the playlist section of my YouTube channel under live streams. That all the live streams are in there, and you just click on the one you want to watch and you can see it. So yeah. So anyway, I got to get heading out of here, everybody. I appreciate you guys all stopping in today. I think next week we're on at the same time, should be, unless something changes, 11 a.m. Saturday. And everybody, thanks for watching. I mean, it was a good chat. Gone over an hour. Had some good photos. And a good time. So everybody, thank you much. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.